Frieza. Achieving this form took plenty of toil out of, you know.
The green bug has come to get squashed.
We were barely separated. What went wrong?
What is up, everybody? And welcome back to the channel, okay? Real talk. Dragon Ball Super has given us some of the most insane, most terrifying, most straight up unforgettable villains in anime history. We're talking gods with god complexes. We're talking guys who ate planets for breakfast. We're talking Goku's own body being used against him. Like, what? Today we are counting down the top 10 villains in Dragon Ball Super, ranked by their power, their impact on the story, and honestly, how much they made our jaws hit the floor. Drop a comment right now. Who do you think is number one? Let's see if you're right by the end of this video. Alright, let's get into it. Now look, Beerus technically becomes an ally later, but let's not forget how this guy introduced himself to the Dragon Ball world. He showed up, slapped Vegeta, blew up half a planet, ate some food, and almost destroyed Earth because the pudding wasn't good enough. The pudding wasn't good enough. The fact that the Z fighters had absolutely zero chance against him was genuinely scary. Like, Goku couldn't touch him, Vegeta couldn't touch him. He's literally a god whose job is to destroy things, and he's great at it. Beerus kicks off this list at number 10 because even as a good guy now, he still gives me anxiety. You never fully trust a cat that almost destroyed your planet over dessert. You just don't.
Why don't you prove I'm wrong and tell me something useful about this Super Saiyan God?
Let's talk about a comeback story for a villain. Frieza spent 4 months training, that's it. And he went from getting sliced in half by a sword in DBZ to unlocking Golden Frieza and going toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Can we just appreciate how wild that is? The man had no body for years. He was in literal hell, cut up, floating in space, and he came back and bodied everyone. And don't even get me started on Black Frieza in the manga. One punch. He knocked out Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta at the same time. At the same time, bro, Frieza is the villain that never gets old. He's been here since the beginning. He's the face of Dragon Ball evil, and in Super, he proved he still belongs at the top table. Respect where respect is due.
The privilege of being crushed beneath the weight of my full and unbridled power.
Okay, this man doesn't even have an evil plan. He doesn't want to destroy the universe. He's not trying to be a god. He doesn't care about power. He just goes crazy and levels everything in sight, and honestly, that makes him more terrifying. The 2018 Broly movie broke the internet. Watching Goku and Vegeta, two of the strongest beings alive, getting ragdolled like toys, thrown across mountains, that feeling of helplessness was real. But here's the thing that hits different about Broly. Deep down, he's not evil. He was a victim, raised in isolation, weaponized by his own father. All that rage, it's pain. And when you realize that, it hits you right in the chest. He's not a monster, he's a tragedy, and that's what makes him unforgettable.
But I choose you to be the first of my victims.
Some villains are evil, some are twisted, and then there's Jiren. Jiren isn't evil. He doesn't want to destroy the universe. He just believes that power is everything, that only strength gives you the right to exist. And in his mind, he is completely 100% justified. Do you remember, and I need you to remember this moment, when Goku was getting erased in the Tournament of Power? Like, Spirit Bomb reflected back at him, everything gone, it was over. And then, the Ultra Instinct theme started playing because of Jiren. Jiren pushed Goku past every limit he ever had. The man broke Goku so completely that something entirely new had to be born. How many villains can say that? His backstory, losing everyone he loved, his mentor dying, turned him from a wall of pure power into something genuinely tragic. Jiren is the villain who made Dragon Ball Super its greatest moment, period. Okay, now we get into nightmare territory. Moro is 10 million years old. He was so dangerous that the Galactic Patrol had to use an ultra rare wish just to drain his powers and lock him away. And even then, he escaped. This guy doesn't just fight you, he drains you. He absorbs your energy. He eats whole planets alive and gets younger and stronger while doing it. Planets just wither and die when he shows up. At one point, he literally merged with Earth itself. Like, the entire planet became his body. Goku had to punch through the earth to fight him. Moro doesn't get as much love as the other villains, and that's a crime. He's ancient evil. He's the kind of villain who makes you feel like the heroes don't stand a chance. Not because of power, but because of what he is. Wrong. Fundamentally wrong.
There is no time limit.
Okay, wait, before you come for me in the comments, just hear me out. Yes, Cellmax is basically an incomplete experiment. Yes, he can't talk. Yes, he's basically just an unstoppable rage monster. But he made Gohan snap. He killed Piccolo Gohan's father figure, his teacher right in front of him. And watching Gohan completely lose it, eyes going white, power exploding beyond anything we'd ever seen. That was one of the most emotional moments in Dragon Ball Super history. The superhero movie broke us emotionally, and Cellmax is the reason why. Sometimes the best villains aren't the most complex ones. Sometimes the best villains just exist to unlock something incredible in our heroes. And Cellmax unlocked Gohan Beast. That alone puts him on this list. Alright, we are in the top 4 now, and this is where things get deeply uncomfortable. Imagine your future Trunks. You've already suffered through the android apocalypse. You already watched your entire world burn. You survived. You rebuilt. And then a villain appears wearing Goku's face, that image. Goku's smile, Goku's voice, Goku's body used for genocide. It's one of the most disturbing concepts Dragon Ball has ever done, and it worked. Goku Black Zamasu in Goku's stolen body, fighting with a Saiyan's power and a god's hatred. He created the Scythe of Hope literally by slashing reality open. He went Super Saiyan Rosé, which is the most elegant and terrifying transformation in the whole franchise. The scene where future Trunks finally cuts him down with a sword made of everyone's energy while screaming for his fallen timeline. I have goosebumps right now just talking about it. Goku Black is evil art.
Saiyans all act as if you created this strength on your own.
There is a special kind of villain that chills you not because of power, but because of belief. Zamasu was a god, a literal divine being, and he looked at mortals at US and decided we don't deserve to exist. Not because we wronged him, not for revenge, just because in his perfect divine mind, mortals are a cosmic mistake. Violence, war, greed. He saw all of it and concluded they must be erased. And the worst part, he had a point about the violence. A twisted, evil, horrifying point, but a point. That's what makes Zamasu so deeply unsettling. You can't just dismiss him as crazy. You have to sit with the discomfort of what he's saying. When he fused with Goku Black to become fused Zamasu immortality, combined with Saiyan power, it took Xeno, the literal god of everything, to erase him from existence. And even then, his essence spread across the entire future timeline like a disease. Infinite Zamasu, a villain so full of hate that even death couldn't hold him. That's not a villain, that's an ideology, and ideologies are the hardest things to kill.
All hail Zamasu.
Okay, so we've talked about Zamasu, the god who wanted to erase all mortals, and then there's Frieza, who just wants to rule everything. No philosophy, no mission statement, just pure, selfish, magnificent evil. I said it before, and I'll say it again, Black Frieza is something else entirely. While Goku and Vegeta were training with gods, learning Ultra Instinct, learning Ultra Ego, going beyond their limits, Frieza quietly snuck into some hyperbolic time chamber equivalent dimension, trained for the equivalent of 10 whole years, and emerged so powerful he one-shotted both of them, like Goku, Ultra Instinct, Goku, one shot, done. Sit down. The audacity, the patience, the scheming, that is Frieza. He doesn't need a reason to be evil. He just is evil, and he's great at it, and he's been doing it for decades, and he's never stopped being the most entertaining, most charismatic, most dangerous villain in Dragon Ball history. He is the villain of this franchise, but today he is number 2.
You two have merged again, but you're telling me you're not Gogeta?
My number 1 is the Future Trunks arc as a whole and Goku Black at its center, because Dragon Ball Super's greatest villain achievement isn't just one character, it's an entire story about hopelessness, trauma, and survival. Future Trunks traveled through time, twice, to save a world that got erased anyway. He watched his timeline wiped out, his friends, his mother, his entire reality gone. And Xeno just did it, like turning off a light. Goku Black and Zamasu are number 1, not just because of power, but because of what they took. They broke future Trunks in a way that no villain before them ever did. And that moment when Trunks raises his sword, powered by every soul that ever lived in that timeline, everyone who died, everyone who fought, and finally cuts Fuse Zamasu down, that wasn't just cool, that was cathartic, that was earned, that was Dragon Ball Super at its absolute peak.
Well, I'm afraid this body has a mind of its own, and what it wants is him.
That is the top 10 villains of Dragon Ball Super. And I know, some of you are coming for me in the comments right now. Where's Hit? Where's Granola? Why is Broly ranked there? Let me know. Drop your own top 10 down below. I read every single comment. If you're new here and you actually like this video, subscribe. We do Dragon Ball content every single week, and we are not slowing down, especially with the Dragon Ball Super manga about to come back. Smash that like button if Goku Black gave you chills. Link to my last video is right here. And until next time, stay super.